This is the Supercross rankings. Final Supercross of the season.
You trying to scare people?
Power rankings. I was doing this.
Small children all around the world are now running
right.
in fear.
I hope so. Because
people are
me
coughing
and
up half
Fox hate Supercross.
People are coughing up half hot dogs right now.
Don't even get me started on half hot dogs. That's just un-American. And if you go to a barbecue, this is a public service announcement from the DawgHouse. If you go to a barbecue and you cut the hot dogs in half, and somebody yells at you for that, because it ain't your damn business to cut the hot dogs in half, don't take it personally when I yell. No, take it personally. I don't care. Don't cut my hot dogs in half. There's no reason for that. Anyways, this week, Supercross. Wow. You got me talking about hot dogs. I got all confused. This week, Supercross ended their season, so that is the round after the penultimate round.
Yeah. That's the ultimate round.
That is the ultimate round. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
The ultimate round of Supercross, where the 250s and 450s both had their final race of the season. 250s did a combined race, East-West Showdown, which would have been an East-West Showdown, except...
Stop that!
I'm sorry.
Thank you. It does it again.
Except for most of the guys in the West decided not to show up. Some of the East guys, there just was not a lot of people there. I just hit the mic. I'm sorry.
I know. You're having a tough time.
Anyways!
You're overly animated.
I am overly animated today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, in our... Wow, I just heard an echo. In our fifth spot is Makaroth. This is a kid that, beginning of the season, we weren't even talking about. Didn't even race the whole season. Now, all of a sudden, he is up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he definitely has earned a lot of respect. In the last 5 races, definitely.
Yeah, he's poured it on at the end. You know, the competition thinned out through injuries, and he took advantage of it, and he got to the fifth position.
But in the 250s, there weren't really that many injuries. He just started coming up.
Yeah, I think he got better. He got a little bit
better. He kept getting better.
Right.
And he started making more mains and stuff like that. In fourth place is Savachi, who you guys are really hot on. He's had a good season.
He is. I'm hot on him because I think he's another one of those. He's like McElrath to me. He's a star of the future.
Yes, I will agree with that.
He's coming on.
In third place is Bogle.
Which you should have that retracted now.
Right. I almost feel like we shouldn't vote for Bogle because if you don't show up to the last race of the season because you're resting.
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of sad.
Well, that's insulting to the fans, in my opinion.
That's insulting to the fans. Yes. Yeah. There's no other way to insult the fans than saying I don't care about you enough to come race.
Right.
Number 2, Webb came in, and all year we've been going back and forth of who's better between Musquin and Webb, and we kept saying all year long, wait till Las Vegas. They're going to be side by side.
Right.
Except for they weren't, and I just banged the table again because I wanted to.
Right.
And they weren't there.
And
Webb wasn't there. Musquin was there.
Yeah, and I think you got it. We never got to see the shootout.
So I'm going to have to assume Musquin would have won.
This was the East-West shootout.
Without the West champ.
And I don't blame him. I mean, injuries happen, but because of that, I had to ping him, and I knocked him down for that reason. I think most people did too.
I think we all did.
Musquin had a dominant race. I mean, there was a little bit at the
he
very
had
beginning.
He had a dominant race, minus Webb and Bogle, right? Who didn't bother to show up.
And Alex Martin.
And Alex Martin, that's right.
You know, so some of his toughest competition didn't show up, but you got to say, you know what? He's number one. He won the Showdown race. So you can't
that was what,
take that away from him.
9 races in a row for him, I think.
Right.
No, I don't think so.
8 or 9.
No, I don't think so.
Anyways,
we'll talk about that after the show because that's actually he didn't win that many in a row. He's had that many like podiums in a row. But if we go back to 450s, 450 power rankings, we're sitting there in our number 5 spot is a guy who a couple seasons ago was unsponsored out there all on his own. Weston Pike, who got his big break last year during the motocross season where Ricky Carmichael Racing signed him. And now he's out there and he's racing, and he's had a good season.
Yeah, I think the knock on him was his conditioning wasn't up so that he would have a good first half of the race and a lousy second half of the race. But looks like as the season's gone on, it's improved.
Yes, he's improved. And
so maybe he's taken, I think this has been sort of surprising this whole season for him. Like you said, he wasn't really expected to race. things came together, and I think he wasn't prepared for the season, and he had to work he had to play his way into shape, as they say in football, right?
Yes, he did.
And he did. Finishing up on a podium this past weekend, I think he earned his top 5.
Definitely showing, I think, a steady improvement.
Yeah.
You know.
Do I think he's going to be competing for the championship next year? You know what? That's next year. We'll deal with that next year.
Right. Yeah.
Next on our list was Blake Baggett.
Which, to me, and I'm just going to say that to me, I've been a little disappointed with him this year. I expected more from him.
I did, but with the injuries and stuff, it keeps him in the loop. I think had Weston Pike come on earlier, I think Baggett probably would have slipped out of our power rankings a few weeks ago and never made it back in. Yeah. I think it's the fact that he hasn't slipped completely out that's kept him in.
Right.
So, in the number 3 spot, we got Cole Seeley, who does have a future in NASCAR just on name alone.
On name alone, that's
name
right.
Name alone, the man got a future there.
Right.
Cole Seeley has been a steady third.
Yeah,
you know,
he has been.
He's been a steady third.
He's in the power rankings where he tends to finish.
Yeah, and he's a steady third.
Right.
I don't think it's a knock on him other than the fact that he can't seem to get better than that. But the 2 guys ahead of him are
pretty good.
Are pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that. The number 2 spot, Eli Tomac, former DawgHouse guest.
Yeah, and well earned, I might add. I mean,
well earned that he came on the DawgHouse. I agree.
Yeah, no.
Well earned.
He survived.
Right,
he survived.
I think he was a solid second place in the power rankings pretty much the whole season.
Yeah,
I mean, certainly after Roxon got injured.
He definitely cemented that. He was a little shaky in the beginning. He's gotten a lot stronger. He's poured it on the last few weeks.
We'll see how next year's Supercross is going to be interesting because now we get back Roxon, we get back Trey Kennard
for a couple weeks,
and it's for a couple weeks, and see. But
Musquin's moving up.
I think right, and Musquin's moving up. That's right. But I think at this point right now, Tomac's your solid number 2. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah, and he might compete for, he's been coming on. He's had a couple wins the last couple weeks. He's been coming on. And then Dungey. Number 1, Dungey.
You can't argue.
Can you argue that?
No, that's too easy. That's an obvious one.
He's just been dominating the whole season. The man has just been getting it done. And that finishes up our final power rankings. We will be doing motocross. If you agree or disagree, post it on the post it under the video there, and we'll tell you how wrong you are and that we're always right. But we'll actually take into consideration your stuff, laugh about it while we're having beer. Right. Subscribe to our channel, like it. We're going to be doing some Moto 2 and MotoGP power rankings, and we'll be back in a couple weeks to do motocross, and next year, of course, Supercross. Wow.